Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions regarding this watch. So today we are discussing an FP Journe Chronometre Souverain Black Label. So a model originally launched in 2005 as the Chronometre Souverain. It won the GPHG Men's Watch Prize. Now the Black Label version, according to Journe's own records, became available from 2006 and was sunset in 2021. So this is from the earlier end of that spectrum, as it features the French-made Eleanor case, and you can see the French marks right here. That was sunset roughly midway through 2008. That's not to say all the cases were used up by that point, just that's roughly when they stopped making these cases new. So a watch from the Black Label collection, I should explain what that means. It was decided that Journe needed something more exclusive back in the day when the company was not completely vertical and it still had many independent retailers, to incentivize people to come and buy through Journe dealers an exclusive set of boutique editions with rose gold case and black dial, and Black Label editions with platinum case and black dial were created. Black Label was more than boutique edition. In theory, back then, you could have walked in and bought a boutique edition Journe as your first watch from Journe. Black Label required you to be a previous purchaser of a new Journe watch through a Journe boutique and then buy this watch through a Journe boutique or a Espace. So over time, the amount of money you have to spend with Journe to be allowed to purchase Black Label has increased. Right now, it's somewhere between $400,000 and $500,000. So it's not enough to just go in and buy one watch and then ask for Black Label. It doesn't work that way. Fortunately, this one's available now in platinum. It is 40 millimeters in diameter in profile, 8.7 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 48.1 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. So now we'll throw this on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. It's a good looking watch. It's got a lot of presence. This is an unusual strap and one that I haven't seen fit in the past, so it does change the aesthetic a little bit, but there's no mistaking the pedigree. It is a dress watch and a thin one, so it'll slide easily under a dress cuff. The strap's not broken in, so it's stiff, and I'm pulling it kind of tight, but you could easily ship this watch on a wrist of 14 centimeters circumference, mine is 16 for reference. I think down the barrel is the best angle where you can see I've got some clearance here. The strap is massive, and by that I mean it's thick. Feels like it'll last forever. Large, rectangular, symmetrical scale alligator leather, the best cut of the beast. Certainly a rare cut right from the belly. It's only a small patch of the hide that looks like this. That's why it's expensive. Now you can see we've got a monotone stitch gloss finish, sort of a light olive green with a folded edge, small round scale alligator leather on the bottom, which costs a few $100 more, but increases the longevity of the strap. No crimping, no gouging, brand new FP Journe factory strap. We have curved spring bars so that the lugs can be drilled close to the case without any impediment to the motion of the strap. And in order to make that possible, the curved spring bar is used. We also have a pull tab, so you can pop that strap off the case without tools. And the buckle is Journe's well-known pin buckle, which you can see features a combination of maker's marks, hallmarks, polish, and branding. That's platinum too. The case is simple, domed case back, domed bezel. The flange of the bezel and the case back define the mid case, which blends seamlessly into the lugs that turn almost 90 degrees down from the horizontal of the case band. Part of the reason this watch fits so well. The crown is simple but distinctive, unbranded, double dimple with a knurling. You know who it is without the branding. The dial's actually precious metal, but then blackened. And we have hands with the distinctive Journe tapered profile and sort of a pyramide at center. That's the cut on the center dial. Journe's distinctive typeface for the numerals. He invented and made it. He's not a modest man, but then again, he's got a lot to be proud about. You can see that the size of the numerals actually waxes and they wane as they move around the various obstructions on the dial. We have a chemin de fer, or railroad track outboard for reading the minutes, and then a smaller one in a sunken sub-register with an agérage concentric pattern where you can read sub-seconds. Power reserve indicator. A little note on how this works. This is the Chronometre Souverain after all, and Journe watches that are marketed as Chronometre are always going to feature a backwards power reserve indicator. So you can see how it's moving towards zero as I wind it, and that's because it indicates zero when fully wound, just like a vintage marine chronometer would. A navigation clock on a ship had to be wound exactly 24 hours apart from the last winding, so it was important to know how many hours since the last winding, not how many hours until it was going to stop. So a fully wound marine chronometer would indicate zero, and this watch indicates 0 hours since the last full winding when it is fully wound. Twin barrels in parallel, 56-hour power reserve. Journe is not trying to obtain a long power reserve from these barrels. He's trying to obtain a flat torque curve and a lot of torque. And so this is an excellent timekeeper with the two barrels in parallel, a flat torque curve, a 6-position adjustment, one more than a standard chronometer, although the balance does not beat at a high rate at 6 beats per second, 3 hertz. It has an enormous amount of mass. It is a high inertia, large diameter balance. So twin barrels in parallel, free sprung, 6-position adjustment, massive balance. All these features in tandem, Journe likes to say, mean this watch will keep time better than a COSC chronometer. And the last time I actually tested the caliber 1304 on a chronoscope to test the theory, it did actually time out better than a COSC standard chronometer. So you can see it's a fairly nice movement made in rose gold, though the finishing is not autologerie. The presentation is attractive. It's finished more or less like a Zenith, an AP, a JLC, but neatly so and thoughtfully so. Journe is big on architecture, so you have one bridge with the power source, you have the escapement and the tail end of the drivetrain here, you have the balance right here, and then you have this big gulf between them with no visible means of transmission of energy between the two sides. That's because the power train runs under the dial to keep the aesthetic of the movement clean. On one side we have the power supply, on the other side we have the oscillator using the power, and then this gulf between them where we have this sun ray motif radiating out from under the barrels themselves, and then we have stripes across the bridges. We have a mostly machine-applied bevel that is handsome and neatly applied, still worthwhile, and then an engine turning or perlage below the balance. Screw heads are polished, wheels as well as barrel covers are satinated. We have a mirror-finished click spring, and then the crown wheel core is solarized, so it's good looking. The movement is fairly large at 30.4 millimeters in diameter, and it is made of 18 karat solid gold. So that's long been the tradable gimmick at Journe. He makes his movements out of gold. I guess gimmick is too harsh a word. It is perhaps a selling point. You're trading some elements of hand decoration for richer materials. Now, it's all 30 meters water resistant. You can see it uses Holt head screws, so you won't be able to open it up. And then we have the Eleanor Maker's Mark, which is this little large diamond. It's this large diamond. The small diamonds over here are a Swiss hallmark, which is a dog head, a St. Bernard, and actually has the little letter on the dog's neck showing you which regional assay office did this one. And then you can see the mark for platinum next to it. You have the Eleanor Maker's Mark. That's the French case maker that used to build Journe's cases just outside of Paris. And then you got the double wolf or double dog head that is the French hallmark for platinum. It would be a double eagle if this were gold, but you can see the Eleanor's Maker's Mark. This is still a French-made case. Lots to love with this watch. It's got a lot of charm, and in black label form, this is arguably the most sought-after version of the Chronometre Souverain. Also, I should mention that although black label was available to those with a high enough dollar value purchase history, buying through a Journe boutique or a Espace, only so many examples of any given model could be made black label per year. And although that's changed over time, waxing and waning, the fact is only a small number could be made in any given year. So if every person who qualified black label, for example, wanted a CS in 1 year, that probably couldn't happen. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.